So MDs, whether you like Red Bull, whether you like coffee, whether you like espresso, whether you like 5 Hour Energy, this video will fire you up for many different reasons, especially those of you that are mentally already in Cabo and you're already thinking about September, not August. You're about to be woken up. I guarantee you, and you'll see why. So brace for impact. Now, 12 things I'm going to cover with you in this video. Number one, I'm going to cover with you guys butts and seats comparison between TGA, MSM, Unity, WTP, and Conquistadors. You will be surprised on some of the numbers. Top 50 cash flow for the month so far, and you're going to be shell-shocked how 50% of the top 30 earners in PHP came from one leg. 50% of the top 30 earners came from one leg, and you'll be surprised who that person is. I'm going to talk to you about the main word at this big event. I talked to a lot of different people. What was the main word? Even some of you guys that I spoke to you about what the main word was in your breakouts. The main word I'm going to tell you is a very different word, because the hundreds of text messages I've had communication, we're all talking about one word: qualities of a real flag carrier to lock onto, whether it's me to you or your VP, your counsel to you. We'll talk about that. Reminders of who called out who, a few pictures to show you, a video of two great ones you need to be thinking about leaving this big event, an announcement for non-MDs, an announcement for MDs, an announcement for VPs. One of the announcements for VPs is for somebody that says, listen, Pat, I'm back, but I'm not waiting till September. I want to light it up this month. Well, I want to bonus you $50, $100, $200,000 this month. You'll see why here in a minute when you see it. And then who I'm locking on, two legs. I have some names. How to redeem yourself for some of you guys. And then obviously, last but not least, your strategy going in. Was it effective? Your strategy while you were there, how good was it? Your strategy leaving, how incredible was it? That's all on you. By the way, before I get into some of this stuff, Brian Adams and I are speaking that night. Tom Dempsey speaks to Tom. He was a former CEO of WFG. Says, I got to tell you guys, while I was there, there is no way our events were not 1/10 of your events. Now I'm paraphrasing, but he's telling Tom that the way you guys put on your events, it's truly a show. And no one in the industry does it this way. Brian was blown away sitting there saying, oh my gosh, what is going on? You saw a lot of his enthusiasm on what he's seen as PHP. And I want to go right into what my one word was at this event, and you'll see why I'm going into it the way I'm going into it right now. The most important word at this event was favor. Favor. At Directors and Up meeting, I said something. A lot of you guys talked about it on stage. So one of my biggest fears is to lose favor with the man upstairs because the life he's given me, right? So many times when you win, they're like, oh, God didn't help you out. Oh, no, nobody helped me out. It's all me, it's all me, it's all me. And you forget the late nights when you were walking, praying, asking God for help. And you said, God, if you do this, I'll change this. If you do this, I'll change that. It's similar when you tell your upline, if you lock onto me, I'll be more coachable. If I'll be more this. And then you start winning. And then you're like, I don't need my leader anymore. Oh, you forgot. You forgot. No problem. So let me explain to you favor on how I'm looking at favor. So IMG has 183 companies that have acquired the last few years, right? We're one of 183 companies. When they came to this event leaving, my idea, me as the leader of PHP today, as the current leader of PHP today, my idea was, I want to put on a show that when he goes back on Monday, which is today, you're going to get this video tomorrow morning, maybe tonight, but today's Monday, when they have their board meeting, to sit there and say what? To say, out of these 183 companies that we have, Brian, which one do you think can be a $10 billion company? For Brian to say, guys, we have to lock onto PHP. Bingo. Because I understand what happens when you lock onto somebody. You know what happens when you lock onto a business or an employee or a kid or like your own baby or a leader in the company or in any of that? Do you know what happens when you lock onto an investment? You give it more attention. I want them to give more attention to PHP. Why? Because if all of a sudden PHP goes from doing, we did $16.1 million last month to doing 50 million, 100 million, 200 million in a month, when we start doing $250 million a month, which is 3 billion points per year, that's $3 billion in commission per year. How much of that comes to you? That's how I'm looking at this thing here. So for you, are you favored by your MDs, upline, your SMD, your VP, your counsel, your board counsel, your SPC, or even myself? There is a lot of benefit to that, but I'm giving you my understanding of favor. So now, for some of you guys, the second word close to it would be deciding to change with not temporary changes that some of you guys only make temporary changes. Real permanent changes, those are the ones I'm locking on to, who make permanent changes. Cut away from your old habits and make some new changes. We'll be seeing which one of you guys will be doing that when you leave this place. I said something in the breakouts I spoke to. Here's one thing I want you guys to be thinking about. And I said this for the first time. And I want you to understand how powerful this is. And I've never said this. In 13 years, PHP, next month's going to be 13 years. I've never used this phrase before. Never. I've never used this phrase before that I'm about to use with you. This is the first time in the history of PHP that we no longer have competition. And let me explain to you what I mean by we no longer have competition. There is no distractions, because we're the FMO that's been growing the fastest the last 13 years. Everybody's looking at PHP as an FMO. And everybody's looking at IMG as the aggregator, picking people up left and right, acquiring, right? And we became partners. And everybody they own is also partners. We're not direct competitors. We're all partners. It's us against the world today. Any product we want, any technology we want, anything we want, we have. In every single boardroom of all these insurance companies in America, they're sitting there shivering saying, oh my gosh, PHP teamed up with IMG. We no longer have competition today. So what does that mean to you? When it's times like this, some people say, oh, since we don't have any competition, I don't need to compete. But some people say, if this is the season, let's go planting seeds and recruiting. This is the season to go offensive mode, because some of you guys at this big event, you're going to go from however many people you had at this big event, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 in no time. Now, having said that, let me go into some of the stuff I want to talk to you guys about. But now you know, favor, deciding to change, and understanding the fact that we've never had competition. We today don't have competition today. I would be on it like never before if I was you. But that's on you to see how you're going to be doing. We're all watching right now who's going to come out the gates. I'm betting on a few people, but you have to choose who you're going to be betting on. So now, few call-outs, Teak.
Yep.
I think the biggest call-out for me, that was the toughest one, was when Suazos called out Gaines.
That was
because
tough, yeah.
When you think about Suazos leaders, none of us think about a player that they have. That's a major name. But when you think about Gaines and players, we think about what? Solis, Sika, Gomez, they got a few other names, right? Okay. Hart's call out of Ricky Nerica. Ricky swore it'll never happen with butts and seats. And Hart said, you should have never said that, because Hart's now are double downing. Anyways, there's a lot of that going on right now with them too. That's going to be a very good matchup. Cobos against Musgrove. Marroquin, Oriana. Orianas are hot right now. I think Orianas are coming up in a way that some guys are realizing they're going to be players, especially with 11 out of 20 promotions on the last cycle was them. Whole different plays. Castillo's, to see which Castillo's going to be legit. Bruno or Gio and Nico. Reyes is Luisa Reyes against Renee Dalila. Luisa Reyes promoted 7 direct MD. I talked to her at Hakkasan. She came up to me. I said, listen, a lot of people are saying you promoted 7 MDs. Your base shop is now this small. We'll see what you're going to be doing. She says, we'll see what you'll see what I'll do. Then Oriana against Phelps to see which one's going to be the more coachable, like for Gaitans to lock onto. Mason, by the way, in the meeting after the meeting, got more registrations than any other VP in all of MSM, including Hearts, just so you know that. Gaitans won MVP, but will they win it for the rest of the year? The last time Gaitans won MVP for the entire year, I don't know when it was. And I'm not even being funny. I actually don't know when it was when they won MVP for the entire year. Could have been 8 years ago. Could have been 9 years ago.
2014, Pat. 2013,
that's 8 years ago.
They were number one. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And then we got Moon called that Marcelo and Gabby, and then Saeed called that Ricky and Erica. And Saeed, I think, is in a very good place. Now, let's talk a few different things about butts and seats, Teak. Okay?
Yes.
This is very important to realize when you look at butts and seats, because I watch numbers very closely, and there's some people that had the plus minuses, and some did it in a very beautiful way. By the way, here's some of the VPs that were plus minus up. Corbin's were up. Okafor had the biggest plus minus for all VPs in the base category. Okafor. Second was Carlos Medrano, then Lomeli, Richardson, Ote, Zaldo, Marcelo, and Gabby. Oriana's up. Musgrove's up. They broke a new record for themselves for their net VP butts and seats. They said they would do it. Then you got Terraces. They tracked it all. They drove it all. It was incredible seeing what Terraces did. They're up. And by the way, Terraces numbers, if you look at Terraces numbers, was nearly 25% of
Mhm.
all of, not even 20, yeah, 25, little over 25% of all of Unity's net BC was from terraces. Great job, terraces. Del Valle had their highest count in base, plus minus. They went up, and they had the biggest plus minus in their hierarchy. As a
Yes, they did.
council, Del Valle quietly did that. Down in Kilroy were second, then Musgrove Candy, then Mason. Gaitan's had the biggest plus minus in their net VP, not net BC, biggest plus minus in net VP amongst BCs. None of the BCs had the kind of plus minus that Gaitan's had in their net VP, and Vargas has had the bigger plus minus amongst all the BCs in their base shop. So now, having said that, I want to show some number here to you guys. TGA had, let me zoom this in so I can actually show it to you. Tico, if I do this, it's even easier. Okay, so let me show you guys these numbers here for you guys to see. Okay, so TGA's butts and seats, is this the one? Yeah. TGA's butts and seats was 1964. Okay, that's TGA and Conquistadors. Unity and WTP together was 1657. Okay, which is only 67 more than MSM. I thought for sure they were going to be twice more, maybe 50% more, but they were only 67 more, which is like 3 or 4% more, 4% more than MSM. Conquistadors had 818, WTP had 780, Cornerstone 561. Now, here's a crazy thing that we have to look at. Unity had 306 fewer people there than TGA, but Unity recruited nearly 2,000 more people for the year than TGA. So TGA only recruited 13,649. Unity recruited 15,154, but TGA had 11% more people there than they did. I'm sorry, no, TGA had 300 people more people there than they did. And then at the same time, Unity had, I don't know, 6,000 more recruits, 5,877 more recruits than MSM, which is 64% more. But they were only 3% more in butts and seats, which means MSM's catching up and passing them up. And TGA could be running away with this. And then MSM may bump Unity and WTP out and come and compete with TGA. If you think about numbers the way I see it, okay? Butts and seats. Now, so Unity's got a conversion issue, which they got to work on. We'll see what they'll do about that. Now, WTP, that's 7,547 recruits. Conquistadors had 7,348. So WTP had more recruits, but Conquistadors had more butts and seats than WTP, which is, again, a conversion challenge. Just a couple months ago, WTP was competing with who? MSM and recruits, but not in butts and seats. MSM is doubling WTP in butts and seats. So here's what this means. When you and I left Daytona, we spoke. And I said, look, we don't really know who ran this place. We have no idea who led the way. Was it MSM or was it, WTP? We don't know. While you were looking at the whole thing and Gaines was all this other stuff. When we left, I told Sheena and Matt backstage, you were there. I said, look, we're going to find out which one of you guys is the better builder. And I told Rodolfo and Ceci, we're going to find out if you're the better builder. Well, the reality of it is 6 months later, MSM doubled WTP in butts in seats. That's more than 2x WTP. MSM doubled. So what Sheena is trying to tell Ceci and Rodolfo is you're not at our level yet. Now, WTP can say, I can't believe you just said that, Pat, and be upset about it. Or you can do something about it and say they're right. But it's completely up to you on how you handle it. I'm right now looking at which legs to lock onto. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, because I want to see which legs to lock onto. So now let me continue, guys, for some of you guys that are curious with cash flow, because everything is, at the end of the day, cash flow. Here's the top earners for the month. Number 1 is Gaitan. Number 2 is Del Toro. Number 3 is Mason. Number 4 is Quartas, out of Del Toro's hierarchy. Then it's Sapalas. Then it's Moon, out of MSM. Ricky and Erica, Conquistadors. Hart, MSM. Moritz and Craig, TGA. Out of the 9 top earners in PHP, it's out of 2 hierarchies. It's either TGA or it's MSM. 5 out of 9 is TGA, 4 is MSM. Then it's Palayo. Okay. Then it's Casera, MSM. Then it's Tobin Short, TGA, because it's Phelps. Then it's Vargas, 13th place. This is Rodolfo Vargas. Then you got Alexandro, which is what do you call it? TCO, just got his ring.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
it's Saeed, MSM. Then it's Marcus and Kiana. Tico, these guys are MSM, right?
They're MSM with Hart, correct.
MSM with Marcus and Kiana. Marroquin, WTP. Salas, Quartas. Hueso, Carlos Medrano, TGA. Feld, TGA. Oriana, TGA. Lomelin, TGA. Gaines, Nobility. Young, MSM. Carlos and Ursula, TGA. Smith, MSM. Zaldo, TGA. William and Beatrice, TGA. Keshi, Unity. Gomez, Nobility. You ready? Watch this here, folks. 15 out of the top 30 earners for this month so far is TGA. 9 out of 30 is MSM. That means 24 out of 30 is two legs. You kind of get the idea there? 24 out of 30 is either MSM or TGA because they're better at converting and placing and getting paid and making money. So butts and seats converting, placing cash flow, converting. You kind of get the message a little bit on what we need to work on some hierarchies. But let me show you this here. Only 4 out of 30 is Unity, including Vargas, including Marroquin. Only 4 out of 30 is all Unity. 4 out of 16 was Conquistadors, which means for a lot of people are like, well, you know, Conquistadors is 60% of TJ and all this other stuff. Nope. Out of the 15 top earners, of the 30 top earners, only 4 out of the 15 was from Conquistadors. 11 is TGA's net BC. Remember how I told you new leaders? This shows you what they're focused on with new players coming up. Only 2 out of 30 was WTP and 2 out of 30 was Nobility. No one from Cornerstone, no one from, Alliance, EIB, take all the other legs. These are the ones that are making money. Now let's look at the top 50. 31, Alejandro, TGA. Blessing, Unity. Iroezi, Unity. Cobos, Unity. Dana Kilroy, Cornerstone. Sabatimani, TGA. Marcelo and Gabby, WTP. Elvana, TGA. Corman, MSM. Cobb, WTP. Luisa Reyes, Musgrove, Graziani, Colmenares, Russell, Saldana, Sanchez, Okafor, Del Valle, Robert, and Melissa is what we're looking at with cash flows so far. These are real numbers where you make money. So if some of you guys are sitting here saying, man, I want favor. I really want the company to be sitting in the boardroom, just like Integrity is thinking about PHP. I want PHP at the top saying, I want them to lock onto my leg because there's additional favors. When we think about locking onto a leg, we're doing so many different things behind closed doors that you know nothing about because that's favor. We lock onto a leg, there's favor. And that's benefit. It doesn't just benefit the upline. It benefits everybody in that organization when there's favor. So now, some of you guys are saying, well, Pat, what do I need to do to get favor? 6 qualities. Let me give it to you. You may want to write this down. Number 1, nothing is more attractive than a positive attitude, a pleasant attitude to be around. Number 1, okay? It's very simple. It's hard, by the way. Some people think it's very easy. It's very hard, but it's attitude, okay? Having a great attitude. Today, one of my guys here, Rob, who's our booker, he said, man, I really enjoyed talking to Tikrit. I said, really? Tell me why. He says, I can't believe he and his wife ran the entire show. And he started as a graphic designer with PHP. I said, you know, he started at $10 an hour. He said, no. I said, yeah. I said, you know, him and his wife, they got a really nice thing happening to them here. They're doing very well for themselves. No way. Yes. Do you know why? Why? Because they were favored. We locked onto Tikrit. We locked onto Moral. We locked onto Mario. We locked onto Alexis. We locked onto people. Okay. Same thing here. So number 1, Tikrit's attitude, priceless. Attitude is number 1. Number 2, coachability and alignment. Coachability and alignment. If somebody has to explain something to you and it's taking you 19 minutes to get it, the other one gets it in 9 seconds, we're locking on here. If somebody explains something to you and it takes you 38 days to get it, this one gets it in 2 days, we're locking on to here. Coachability and alignment. So far, 2 things. We got attitude, coachability and alignment. 3, results, meaning you're doing the work. You're willing to go out there and do the work. Number 4, speed of instruction. Okay, how quickly you execute. Like today, I'm talking about the stuff. Some people's attitude is going to be like, I can't believe he said we're not in the top 30 cash flow. I can't believe they showed this. I can't believe conversion. That's part of the attitude. Okay. And, coachability. Yeah, whatever, they're just picking on us. No problem. Okay. And you have to realize we pick on everybody all the time if you have to improve. So then you go to that part, or someone's going to say, man, they're right. We got to work on this. Coachable. We got to be aligned to company. Are we aligned? Hey, are we doing this? Are we doing that? And then moving speed and instruction. And we're not working. We're not moving fast enough. Something's got to take inventory of. 5 is character. Can you be trusted? When something comes out of your mouth, can I bank it? Can I take it to the bank? Whatever you tell me. Can we trust you? Are you somebody that's trusting? Whatever you say, you come through and you follow through on it. And last but not least, are you competitive? Favored legs have a solid attitude. They're coachable and aligned. They get results. They move at the speed of instructions. They have strong character, and they're very, very, very competitive. Those things are there no matter what. Now, for some of you guys are going to be saying, Pat, what if I've not been coachable? What if I've not been this? What if this wasn't a good event for me? What if I'm disappointed with the event? What if I'm a bit frustrated? Great. That's all good things. But it starts with a few things. If you want redemption, because there's nothing in life more exciting than redemption. Any movie you and I love, Pursuit of Happiness, redemption, okay? You go, Tom Cruise, the last one that came out, Top Gun, it was a story of redemption. This guy redeemed himself when he got and finished the mission. There are only a few feelings in life better than redemption. Redemption starts with making permanent changes, which means you got to make a decision. And in Latin, the word decision means to cut away from the old you. Cut away from the old you, make some new decisions. Number 2, go wide ASAP, real recruits. Go wide ASAP, real recruits. Number 3, focus on earning favor. Focus on earning favor. It's called the Lucky Charm Syndrome. It's the Lucky Charm Syndrome. Additional things come to you when you're part of the Lucky Charm Syndrome. You want to get lucky. I promise you, I have no problem getting lucky. There are those who are loners who say, I'm going to do it all by myself. No problem. I'm not. Today, a guy was talking to who's a hedge fund guy. We're having a conversation. He says, Pat, I'm sitting down with all these guys. I think I'm smarter than all these guys. None of these guys are smart at my level. None of them went to the school I went to. None of them did that. I said, you know what your problem is? He says, what? I said, I'm reading the story of Sam Zell. And one of the things here Sam Zell talks about, for some of you guys that don't know who Sam Zell is a $5.5 billion guy. He says, he's talking about Dave Rubenstein's interviewing him. There's a part of it in the interview. He says, both of us succeed with a combination of ego and humility. We succeed because we're able to adjust that ego and humility backward and forward to achieve our objective, which means what? Do you understand what that means, right? You have to understand, without humility, why is somebody going to lock onto you? You need to have that humility aspect. Nobody who's competitive doesn't not have an ego. Everybody's got an ego, but the level of humility allows you to be able to learn. If you're a loner, you know it all, you're going to do it all by yourself, no problem. You'll grow at 18%. But if you're favored, you're growing at 43%. Mm-hmm. That's the magical lucky charm. But again, totally up to you. So now, all this stuff I said, let's look at what your numbers at so far for the month. And then I'll tell you some of the people I'm looking at potentially locking onto, and I'll make the announcements, and you're going to lose your mind when I give you the announcements. Tico, I think you emailed it to me, no?
Yes, I did, Pat. Yeah.
All right, so let me see when you emailed it to me. Did I bring this up or no? You send it to which email? Oh, there you go. I got it. Yep. Okay, open this up. And I got the next BC retreat as well. Okay, so let me share this with you guys and show you this. Is this it?
Yes, it is, Pat.
Okay, so here we go. Captains for the month and base recruiting. Believe me, this is changing. You'll see why in a minute, but this is where you are for the month. Okay. So number 1 is Sapalas for the month, captains. Then it's Del Toros. Then it's Vargas. Then it's Gaitan. Then it's Palayo at 5th spot. Councils, Gaines, number 1, great job. Dan and Kelroy, great job. Same leg. Ricky and Erica, 3rd, 19. Then it's Musgrove, Hart, Del Valle, Graziani, Kahindi. Mason, only 2. Pimber, Cobos, Phelp, only 1. And that's where they are. Now, VPs, Okafor at the top, good job, 20. Marcelo and Gabby, 18. Then it's Solis, Lomeli, Terrace. Then it's the rest of the camp here where you are at. Look at these numbers here. Yeah. We're seeing all of this stuff, guys. Everybody is seeing your numbers where you are for the month. Now, SMDMD, Said at the top. Perez 2nd. Then it's Campos, Diaz, Cobb, Blessing, Elvana, Bausi, Haas. Then you got the rest of the camps here. Then you got MDs, Hiram Travis, same leg. Again, Diana and Kelroy, Dina and Fernanda, Bruno, ahead of Castillo's by 6. Impressive. Walker, Lorna Tracy, Arias, they're at 10. Okay. So those are those numbers. Okay. On captains for the month. Now, I want to show you one other thing for you guys to be thinking about. For some of you guys that are fighting for 2 other things, but this one I want to show you because this one's going to be sick.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
Sport Council retreat. Okay. You got Del Toro's at the top, captains. Then it's Gaetan Sapalo. We're going to do some special for the top 3, and they'll be part of it. Pelayo and Vargas will be the first to be not part of that. They'll obviously be going, but they won't be participating in the special activities that I'm doing for the BCs. Then you got councils, Rick and Eric at the top. Then it's Gaines, Mason, Musgrove, Hart. Here's who's out. Dana Kilroy are out. Kobos are out. Thomas is out. Phelps, Delvay, Pimber, and everybody else is out. FYI. Do you know why people like this normally miss it? Because they wait till the last month, September, to get qualified, and they normally get kicked out in August, not in September. Light month this month, good luck trying to get qualified. VPs, Okafor's in, then it's Marcelo and Gabby, Suazo, Zaldo, Solis, Renan, Dalila, Williams. Here's who's not in. Marroquin, not in. Oriana, not in. Ote Castro Medrano, not in. Lomeli, not in. Now, SMD, EMD, Said's at the top. Then it's Elvano Colmenares, Blessing, Marinson, Craig, Tony, and Alina Harris, Diego Garcia Rodriguez, Campos, Suazo, Young. All these other names that are not in, Alan and Alicia, Sika, Williams, Cobb, Lee, bunch of you guys who are not in, and those who are not SMDs yet are also not in, which means some of those that hit SMD next month, it's going to be a bad situation if they hit SMD. A lot of you guys will get kicked out. And I'll tell you here, my favorite meeting of the year is the next Board Council retreat. Let me say this one more time. My favorite meeting of the year is the next Board Council retreat because we spend tens of hours together in a small group setting. We go to the best restaurants in Palm Beach. You're around billionaires. President Trump is 2 miles away from where we stay at. I mean, it's an incredible late night cigar till 2 o'clock in the morning, the conversations, the laughter, the humor. It's an incredible experience. So you may want to kind of light it up the next 2 weeks to make sure you go there. Here's some of the names I'm looking at, locking onto. Matter of fact, I'll just tell them privately, but there's a few people I'm locking onto and legs I'm locking onto. We'll talk to them on who they are. But I think, you know, pretty excited about what these guys are going to be at, what they're going to be doing. Few things. Number one, CVS, Aetna, Aflac. Announcements made. You're going to hear from Mark and Tikrin and others about getting those appointments going. The $1.5 million of bonuses starts at June 27th, and it goes till next year, June 26th. Okay, that's where the bonus is going to be given at next year's MGM. First place could take $620,000 of bonuses, not including the other side of earnout if you actually had some actual, shares. Bora Bora, let me give you guys some coffee. Let me give you some 5-hour energy drink here. Let me give you some incredible, double espresso.
Yeah.
You ready? You want to go to Bora Bora? I want to go to Bora Bora with you. I want you to bring your family with you to Bora Bora. We're going to spend nearly $20,000 on you and your spouse to go to Bora Bora. Yes, it's insane. You like Monaco? Holy moly. This is it's the #1 destination in the world for honeymoons. #1 destination in the world for honeymoons is Bora Bora. But I got some news for you. And here's the coffee. If you want to go to Bora Bora, because of the amount of money we're investing this year in what we've done, coming out of the big events, and you guys know I like to raise standards. Some of you guys said, well, Pat's going to change the stuff with, which one was it? Tulum? Was it Tulum?
Tulum. Remember Tulum? Yeah, Pat.
Oh, Pat's going to change it. Believe me, he's going to change. He's going to open it up. Oh, 100 butts and seats at MGM to take pictures with Shaq and all those guys. Pat's going to open it up.
Nope.
That's not how I'm wired. So here's what we're doing. You ready? You best make sure your MDs and VPs watch this video. I'm just telling you, because you can't come back and say, I forgot how you do this if you don't watch this video. 2 things you got to do. Because we're spending the amount of money for Bora Bora, you have to hit 15 recruits, 15,000 points from the 16th to the 31st of this month. And you have to hit 15-15 September 1st through September 15th. Those are the 2 things you must do. If you don't hit it, don't worry about it. We'll spend the $20,000 on somebody else, but you have to hit 15-15 this month, the last 2 weeks, and you have to hit 15-15 September 1st through the 15th. And if that excites you, awesome. If it kind of gets you to say, holy moly, that's the coffee was talking about. Exactly. You don't have to go to Bora Bora. I tell you, those who went to Monaco, life-changing. I highly recommend you realize there's still this month called August, and I would fully highly recommend you to not screw this thing up, because a lot of you are going to Cabo for 4 days. So you don't want to mess this up. You want to start today, the moment you saw this video. Call every single one of your MDs and say, did you watch the video? Best make sure you watch the video, because you do not want to miss Bora Bora. Okay, Tico, did I explain that in a very thorough manner? Yes or no?
Extremely clear, Pat. It's not a one-time thing. It's a two-time thing. You got to do it August 16th through the 31st, and then September 1st to the 15th.
And
very
to clarify, Tico, I'm not saying it's either or. It's both.
Very clear. You can't just do one and say, "Oh, I already did the pre-qual."
Yeah, I just want to make sure somebody doesn't say.
Because it will come up, Pat. You know how it is. You don't get these random messages. No, it's
watch the video.
You have to do 1 of 1 and 2 of 2.
Now, next announcement. The level 0. You guys remember level 0? You do 10-10, you get 150% on Foresters, and you get that additional 1.5 on the annuities. This is the last month. After this month, 150 is gone. Level 0 is gone. That additional bonus is gone. Out. Number 2, GB. This month is the only month that's left with no licensing with 10 levels. So if you want to catch up on the cash flow, you may want to kind of hit some level 4, level 5, level 6 GB, whatever you're doing after this month, it's going to the 5 levels with licensing. Be prepared for that. So that's that part. Okay, that'll be gone. Next, announcement. Okay, announcement. This is the last month to qualify for Million Point Bishop Retreat. I was looking at the leaders bulletin on the back office to see something for, and by the way, did you know cash flow wise? Tico, I was looking at cash flow for the year. I don't know if you've been looking at it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Cash flow for the year. Do you realize Jose is about to pass up and catch up MSM? And not only that, do you know Sapalas and Gaitan have like a few $100,000 lead on Palaio and Vargas?
I saw that one. I did see
It's
that
insane,
one. A couple 100,000. It's not even, yeah, it's not close.
No
it's almost like you see a separation taking place.
There is a big separation between those two leaders, two legs. Then you got Ricky and Erica, Del Toro, and Mason are all within $10,000 of each other. Okay.
Yep, I saw that.
Then it's Hart. Hart's got a $3,000 lead on Phelps for the year. And Saeed is only $2,000. Saeed is only $5,000 of cash flow behind Phelps for the year. So if Hart out cash flows Phelps and Saeed out cash flows Phelps, that's incredible if that were to happen, by the way.
Wow.
Then you got Cobos and Donna Kilroy, Alejandro. Gaines is only $1,000 behind Don and Kilroy to out cash flow them.
Oh,
that's pretty intense right there. Anyways, but what I wanted to talk about before I got distracted and I covered some of this cash flow was
talking about Million Point Base Shop,
right? It was Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Here's the following people that have already qualified for Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Let me kind of show this so everybody can see it. Here's the following people that have already qualified for Million Point Base Shop Retreat. Can I zoom in or no? Will it allow me to do it? I hope it does. Okay. So Tico, blue means they're qualified?
Blue and green means they're qualified, just different tiers.
Oh, wow. So Ricky and Erica, Lomelin, Gates, Del Toro, Moscow, Okafor, Gaitan, Palaio, Palaio, Mason, Zaldo, Rodolfo and Ceci, Hart, Elvana, Harris, Saeed, Blessing, Luisa Reyes, Marcelo and Gabby Suazo, Renan Dalila, Ote Cuartas. So all these guys are qualified. Wendy and Eddie.
All of them qualified. 50 names should be qualified at this point for Million Point Base Shop.
Diego Garcia's not yet. Sika's are not yet.
Not yet.
So Medina, Carlos, Lomeli, Dina Fernando, Huerta's not yet.
Huerta needs 400 points.
Wow, like William Beatrice. Oriana's not yet. Joseph, Madeline, Carolyn, Finos, Bay, Gomez. A lot of people are. Chris and Mary Phelps are not qualified. And by the way, I hope these leaders maintain a high standards of Million Point Base Shop, that even if Phelps don't do the Base Shop side, Gaitans don't invite them, because that's what we did. The whole thing is by keeping the high standards. Even Terrace is not yet qualified for Million Point Base Shop.
And
because Sarah's not yet qualified.
2 weeks, Pat. 2 weeks left. So I mean, we're tracking this. I hope people are actually paying attention going to it. 2 weeks left. Well,
this is the benefit about these videos when you watch them, is we help you track the stuff on where it's at. So again, we got Million Point Base Shop Retreat. We got an Export Council Retreat. Now we got the announcements for 3 different people: MDs, non-MDs, MVPs. So pay very close attention. We're about to wrap it up here. Non-MDs. You know, the shoe, which is not a shoe, it's really a weapon, but this shoe here,
that's a weapon.
At the shoe side. I thought you guys would love this shoe. Just so you know, you can Google this. Shaq's size 22 shoe sign. Look how much they sell this for. This is a $2,000 shoe, just so you know. This.
Certified.
This is the kind of stuff as a prop You put it in the back, but don't worry, I'm not giving it out because I thought you guys want. I asked in the MD group me, like, not really. But here's what we're doing for non-MDs: these Shaq autograph balls.
Yep.
That if you want to buy it on eBay, it's like $500 to $2,000. Okay. Here's what we're going to be doing: we're going to give top 5 personal recruiters from August 16th to August 31st. The top 5 personal recruiters are going to get a Shaq autograph ball. Okay, a Shaq autograph ball, but there's a caveat. It goes from the 16th till Tico goes from the 16th till the end of the month. However, there is a caveat. It's the top 5 personal recruiters that goes from the 16th to the end of the month, but you must be at 3 personal recruits by the 23rd to compete. Let me say this one more time. It's top 5 personal recruiters that get a Shaq autograph ball from the event. Okay. However, you must be at 3 personal recruits by the 23rd to compete. Okay. So I hope you guys got that part. 23rd is a day before we go to Cabo. So you must be at 23. And then from there, you compete for the rest. So anybody that gets 3 personal recruits by the 23rd, you can compete for it. Now, number 2, top 5 personal producers. Now put the shoe away. Top 5 personal producers also get the ball. Top 5 personal producers also get the ball. But the top 5 personal producers must also be at 3 personal recruits by the 23rd to compete for the balls. Okay. So no matter what, by the 23rd, which is a week from today, 16, but 28 days from today, you must be at 3 personal recruits to be able to compete for the 5 balls. And you must be at 3 personal recruits to compete for the 5 balls on the top 5 personal producers. So that's for the non-MD side. You get to announce that. Don't wait for me to do it because this is an MD and Up video. MD announcement, you already know, Million Point Base Shop Retreat. And if you want to compete for Bora Bora, 15-15 is what you got to do. So now, last but not least, the announcement for, I put it as VP announcement, but anybody can do it if you got a super base. Here's what I'm testing. So here's how it works. Brace for impact, because some of you guys may get a $50,000 bonus. It could go as high as you want, but you got to work for it. It's a lot of work to get the bonus that you're going to get paid. But I'm testing this. If this works out, I may do it again. Who knows? So let's cover this. Here's how it works. Okay. Here's how this bonus works. 3 levels to the game. Anybody who does in their base 50 recruits, 50,000 points, 250 recruits, and 250,000 points in your super base. If you do that, you get a 3% bonus sent your way on the 250 you place. Okay. So that's what, $7,500? It's an additional $7,500 bonus being sent to you. It's a test. And I'm doing it this way because it's a tough 2 weeks to do it in. This is why we're giving away this money. We don't have to do this. We're testing it out. I want to see the guys that are also going to Cabo, and they're going to be driving, and they're going to be having strategy. I don't mind paying you more money because you're more focused than your peers. Now, some of you guys may say, Pat, what if I really want to go for it? No problem. If you do 50-50 and you do 500 recruits and $500,000 in your super base, not super team, not net VP, super team, super base, you get 5%, which is $25,000 on your super base. So you get an additional 5% on your base and super base. Just think about that if you do it. Now, some of you may say, Pat, what if I really want to go tee it up this month and I got a big pipeline and I'm willing to do the work? No problem. You do 75-75 and you do 750-750, I'm going to give you 7%. You know what 7% is? It's a minimum $50,000 right there. That's what you're looking for. Okay. 50,000 plus. Whatever you do above $1 million, $70,000. $2 million, $140,000. It's totally up to you on what you do. Okay. So we've covered a lot of different things. You decide what to do with it. If the super base bonus is something you want to drive, go for it. But you got a lot of things to be thinking about. So now let me wrap this up here for you guys as we're going through this message together. Favor, decision. If you want to be the person to be locked on to, you know the 6 things we talked about. Attitude, okay? Attitude, coachability, alignment, results, speed of instruction, character, competitive. If you want to be redeeming yourself, change now permanently, go wide ASAP, and focus on being favored. Now, something simple to be thinking about. We're having all these conversations, and I've never heard people talk about like, hey, Pat, I really want to start making some real money. I'm like, what kind of money is real money? I really want to start making 3 million a year. Oh, really? Yeah. I want to make 5 million a year. You do? Yeah. Okay, cool. Had a very good conversation with Musgroves at the after party Hakkasan. It was
Nice.
very interesting where hearts are at and the point they want to prove, specifically to Rick and Erica, to become better BCs. And they don't even like to be compared to Phelps, by the way. I don't know why that upsets them, because in Hart's eyes, they're better builders than Phelps in their eyes. Now, they may be wrong. I mean, it's a lot of it is opinion wise, but they want to be BCs before Phelps. They want to be $1 million earners before Phelps, and they want to produce $1 million earners before Phelps. They're about to promote $2 $500,000 earners. Phelps don't have a single $500,000 earner. So we'll see what happened there. I really enjoy where Oriana's are at, but it's all eyes on the people. We got Dream Team call that we'll be doing for the next few months. You guys know Dream Team 1, there's no more BCs. It's all going to be non-BCs on the call. So I'll get a chance to spend more time with you guys. Those of you that are on Dream Team 2, you'll be with the BCs. Whoever we choose, that's the biggest base shop builder and it's got the best attitude aligned with the company that'll run those Dream Team 2 calls. But this is the wrong time to be distracted. This is the wrong time to have a bad attitude. This is the wrong time to not recreate yourself. This is the best time to recreate yourself, the best time to stay focused, the best time, because we're about to enter an era. You guys are starting to learn how to make money with annuities. It's kind of crazy watching you guys. You guys are starting to like, hey, 20,000, 40,000, you know, these guys are no longer moon. We're going to make $500,000, you know, but we're going to make the same. Like people are starting to make Tico, $250,000 is no longer a big deal.
Oh,
$250,000 is becoming the old $100,000 ring.
Yeah, it's the new 6-figure, Pat.
It's a new era that we're in. So I can't wait to see what you guys will do with this video. All I will tell you is the moment you're done watching it, for the few of you that are still watching this video, comment in the MD group what you took away from it and which one of these messages is driving you to have a big month in August and not wait till September and not act like you're already in Cabo, and just make sure every one of your MDs watches this video. Make sure every one of your MDs watches this. I'll say one more time, Teague. Make sure every one of your MDs watches this video, because you do not want to have one of your MDs upset at you because you didn't tell them about Bora Bora. That's all I can tell you. Having said that, guys, we will see you on the Leaders Bulletin. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.